in our group, we had a little bit of conversation just around, this might be a little bit uncomfortable, that I didn't expect to come here and do work. Like, I thought I was just going to listen to them talk, share some ideas, and that's okay. Hopefully, by practicing and by doing through it, it's the same thing with our kids. For a lot of our kids, they're like, oh, like, why do I have to participate in this? Like, why do I have to do that? I'd rather just like listen to you talk. But are we getting to the learning? Are we really getting to like what makes sense, and how are we learning things?
All right, so we made gestures to go with each of the things, teaching strategies. And we're starting from the bottom up. Okay, are we ready? Okay, lecture, we're going to point our finger. Reading, we are going to open our hands and read a book. Audio visual, we're going to either show ears or eyes. Group discussion, talking with our hands. The demonstration, we're going to be Vanna White. Practice doing, we're going to be hammering in something, building that knowledge. And teaching others, we're pointing to our brain, because that's how we become knowledge retainers, which is our group name.
Awesome.
And that's the end.
That's awesome. Right, we're putting in different modalities, right? People learned like our audio, some are kinesthetic. So putting in the movements with learning the different strategies that we have. So very good. Thank you guys for thinking a little bit outside the box.
Jen, you brought up students, I think, comfortability in being able to share those things. And I think for me, that's a big one. Like, I'm always worrying that of what I ask from students, and are they comfortable sharing? I know we all talked about building a classroom culture so that students feel comfortable, but no matter how great of a classroom culture we build, students still have just a different degree of what they're comfortable doing in our classroom. So I know in the module 6, we had to do something. And Nicole, like, you're a natural performer, so I'm sure it was like, and Jen, you were in that group and you guys were doing, but I don't know if I would have been comfortable, I'm definitely a high school teacher in that sense. I do not sing and dance. But that made me think, right? Like, so for our students that we want, there's always going to be the student that shares, right? That is willing to just go up there and speak on behalf of the group. But how can we ensure that other students in that group are involved as much as they're comfortable with, and that they get a chance in their own way to showcase their learning, not just contributing to the pot and then watching someone else share that pot of knowledge. How can we get the rest of that group to be able to somehow be involved more than, I know sometimes, right, just to get around it, some students like, I'll hold up the banner, right? And another one's like, I'll point at each thing, and another student might be like, I'll introduce our group, but that's not, that is definitely a way to be involved. But I think at this point, like the two of you are, like, now I'm just gonna ask, like, what strategies would you have to ensure that all our students can be actively involved, but again, to their comfort level? Because that's something I always worry about.
I think I saw an idea that one teacher created roles. So like each learner in the group is gonna have a specific role. So maybe if they're not comfortable doing their role alone, they can pair up and do that role again. So maybe the role could be someone is the one facilitating the conversation, because I'm finding, right, that there's some students that really are powerful at being able to include others in a group conversation, right? They invite others just without even prompts from me. Like they do it on their own, right? So someone could be a facilitator where they're asking these guiding questions and they're coming up with those questions on their own. And then maybe someone is the note taker who, you know, is capturing what the group is talking about. And then you have that one that's going to speak out on behalf of all of them. And then what I'm finding is that, you know, at first I was thinking that it was always going to be that same student, you know, that is going to share out, because that's the same student that always shares out in whole group conversations. But I'm starting to find that because they're having more of these opportunities to speak with their classmates, it's that comfort level again, right? So they feel more confident, and it's the students that are quiet and shy that are the ones participating now in whole class conversations. So I think knowing that it's coming from their group and it's their group's ideas and thoughts, they feel, you know, more powerful or more confident that they want to share out. You know, and they're not sharing just their ideas, but the ideas of more than one person, right? 2 people, 3 people, whatever, however big the group might be.
And that's a great way to get English learners involved as well. That their group can really prep them on what to say, and so then they get that opportunity to present. But their group has helped them come up with what they're going to say. I'm thinking back to Module 6 and how the assignment was set up for our breakout groups was very open, right? We weren't given roles. We were able to choose how we wanted to present the information. And so there really weren't a lot of parameters on us, which as adults, we were able to manage that just fine. Students, we might want to use roles or have a rubric, but I think that the biggest piece for any of this is reflection. So have the students afterwards write down what happened, what did you do, what did you learn, how did it work with your group? I think that reflection piece is where a lot of the learning is going to come out, and it's where, as a teacher, you're going to find out students' strengths and where to go next with the unit.
Thank you, ladies. I plan on trying both of those before the quarter is over.
We got 3 more weeks.